There was a civilization that built palaces with running water, painted dolphins leaping across their walls, and sailed ships to Egypt, 1,000 years before the Greeks built the Parthenon. Then, in a single afternoon, it began to die. Not by war, not by invasion, by a mountain that used to be an island. Around 1600 BCE, the Minoans ruled the Aegean Sea. Named centuries later after the legendary king Minos, they were Europe's first great civilization. Traders, artists, engineers. Their capital wasn't even on Crete, it was here, on a ring-shaped island called Thera. Today we call it Santorini. The city of Akrotiri sat on its shore, 3-story houses, indoor plumbing, frescoes of saffron gatherers and swimming dolphins. A wealthy cosmopolitan port at the center of the Bronze Age world. Beneath it, the earth was already stirring. Weeks, maybe months before the end, the ground began to shake. Small earthquakes, then larger ones. Cracks split through walls the Minoans had just repaired. And here is the detail that still amazes archaeologists. When excavators uncovered Akrotiri, they found no bodies, no jewelry left behind, no skeletons in the rubble. The people saw the signs, and they left. Boats, most likely, carried them away before the mountain awoke. They thought they were escaping a bad earthquake. They had no idea what was coming next. What happened next was one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in human history. Some scientists rank it among the largest of the last 10,000 years. The volcano didn't just erupt, it detonated. A column of ash and pumice shot more than 30 kilometers into the sky, turning day into night across the eastern Mediterranean. Pumice rained down so thick, it buried Akrotiri under meters of stone, sealing the empty city like a Bronze Age Pompeii. Then came the second blow. As the volcanic chamber emptied, the entire center of the island collapsed into the sea, and the ocean rushed in to fill the void. The result was a series of massive tsunamis, some estimates suggesting waves over 10 meters high, racing outward across the Aegean at the speed of a jet plane. They struck the northern coast of Crete within the hour. The Minoan fleet, the foundation of their trade, their navy, their power, was smashed against the shore. Harbor towns were flooded, coastal farmland was drowned in salt water and buried in ash, poisoning the soil for growing seasons to come. Crete's great palaces, including Knossos, did not fall that day, but the empire behind them was gutted. Their ships were gone, their trade routes were broken, their coastal economy, the engine of Minoan wealth, lay in ruins. Within a generation or two, new power was rising in the vacuum. The Mycenaeans from mainland Greece moved in. Minoan script gave way to a new language of rule. The palaces were eventually burned, and the civilization that had shaped the Aegean for centuries faded into myth. Some scholars even wonder if this cataclysm, an island swallowed by the sea, became the seed of a much later legend, Plato's story of Atlantis. Today, tourists watch the sunset from the very rim of that collapsed volcano, sipping wine above the drowned heart of a lost world. Beneath their feet, Akrotiri still sits frozen in ash, a city with no bodies, evacuated just in time for one disaster and erased by another. The Minoans didn't vanish in a single afternoon, but the afternoon the mountain fell into the sea is the day their world began to end.